Have our technician come in and help us out.
Brilliant.
We're back here now.
Are we live now?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, this is Papa Ron.
I think we are.
Good.
This
is
here's
Rod.
Rod.
Hey, and we're kind of excited. This is our first live show, kind of a live stream, and we've got Luke from Yes4Motivation from the UK with us. And what got us onto this was, I think about a week ago, Luke, you did a video that we were so impressed with, and that's why we contacted you. Say, we got to talk to this boy. But the video was on about how, and Rod and I have talked about this before,
Right.
If these coins, and of course the conversation today is going to be on cryptocurrency and some of the altcoins and how we feel about everything, the prices are going ballistic. I'm sure you've seen that, Luke.
Oh
nuts.
yes. Oh yes. Just a little bit.
God, it was like $200 for Bitcoin yesterday. It didn't slow down at all.
No, it didn't.
But anyway, Rod and I have talked about that. As these coins escalate in price, and let's say they get up to, multiple thousands or whatever, I mean, how do you cash out of the dang things? I mean, do these exchanges keep that much fiat currency on hand to cash people out? And then what about the bottleneck? We see what's going on with Coinbase and bottlenecks today. It's a nightmare doing simple transactions, let alone.
Well, that's for sure.
So, Luke, if you don't mind, I'd like to kind of start and just get your idea on this again, so some of our subscribers can at least hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Well, that's quite an introduction. Yeah. Thank you for having me as well, by the way, guys. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, so like, say for example, we buy an altcoin that's worth about, I don't know, less than a penny, and it surges up to 10, 20, 30 or $100. And we have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of that particular altcoin. That's a huge amount of capital in difference. I mean, how are exchanges going to cover that huge difference when everybody is trying to cash out the same coin at the same time? It's just, I mean, even if they've got a really impressive, ability to save money, and they've got a huge amount of reserves in the tank, in cold storage, it's still going to be a huge surge of capital flowing out of these exchanges when these particular, that's the thing, when these particular altcoins all get sold and dumped for Bitcoin or US currency, US dollar. How are they going to cope? And plus as well, you've got other people who have got their cryptocurrency in their own private storage. They're going to then be going onto the exchange. I mean, you can see what's going to happen.
It'll be
and
a
then
nightmare.
That's freaking nightmare.
Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly.
So have you thought about solutions? Because we've put a little thought into this.
Yeah, I was thinking just before this. I was thinking actually. So say for example, like with Ripple, everyone's talking about Ripple reaching $1. For example, and maybe if people, rather than aiming at $1, if they try and think ahead of the market and perhaps sell it at 90 cents rather than $1, if it ever did get to that,
Right.
then you'll basically be ahead of the bottleneck. You'll at least be further ahead in the long run. Perhaps even, I mean, with Bitcoin, you've got local Bitcoin, but then obviously there's finding someone who's going to buy Bitcoin at a spike, as many people are finding out now. It's not as easy doing it, but especially with Bitcoin, with the transaction times being so slow now, where people are waiting an hour, a day, or more. When a transaction should only last a few seconds, people are waiting a lot, like for hours on end, and the price of Bitcoin moves literally within minutes. There's going to be a winner and a loser. So the solutions, that's my solution really. Try and sell ahead of everyone else.
And that makes sense. And we've talked about that too on some of these coins. But yet you have to maybe have multiple avenues to cash out. For example, on Coinbase, their limits are so low. I think it's only like 10,000 a week. That sounds like a lot, but if you got a Bitcoin that's up to $4,000 or $5,000 in a couple of years or whenever,
but that's to cover. That's exactly to cover what we're talking about. That's to cover the liability, so then they don't get caught out. That's why they're doing it. See, so then they don't end up
protects them.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, yeah, and as a business, you can't really blame them, right? But So, like
Yeah,
I said,
but it
there's-
doesn't.
there's-
But it doesn't help. It doesn't help the guy who's buying it. It doesn't help
exactly.
us.
So there's going to be a winner and a loser basically. And when these big mass sell-offs happen, there's a winner and there's always going to be a loser. But yeah, that's the thing. It's not as simple as people are
Right.
thinking it's going to be.
We've recently opened a Kraken account.
Oh yeah.
They're another exchange, but their limits are so much higher. It's like 10,000 a day. So if you get qualified on the higher tiers, you have much more availability to move your coins in and out.
Sure is.
Yeah, so that makes sense. What kind of? Tell me. I want to jump into the UK a little bit. What
Go for it.
is going on over there? Do you have ATM machines that sell Bitcoin? Do you have restaurants that take it? I mean, what's the exposure over there? The US compared to the US, we're pretty limited over here still.
Yeah. The UK is actually, I think Brexit's going to push it forward a lot in the coming years, because we're not going to be kind of held to ransom by the bureaucrats over in Brussels. But but I think like yeah, that's the thing. See, but like with Bitcoin in the UK, there's like down the road for me, like 5-minute drive down the road, there's 2 Bitcoin ATMs. One of them you can buy Ethereum from. And they do Bitcoin meetups here in Bristol. Yeah. There's one. There's an Ethereum friendly one as well. So it's coming along. If you go onto like on one of the government websites, gov.co.uk, I can't remember the exact website, but where they say about tax returns and investment and when you're declaring profits, they do have a section where they actually do mention digital currencies, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So the British government, I would presume that most Western governments, at least the British government, they are aware of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and they do actually recognize it as a form of value. Otherwise, they won't be bothering to tax it. If they saw it as totally illegal, they wouldn't even be allowing these ATMs to be rolling out. They wouldn't be allowing these.
Yeah.
So I think the government definitely does recognize Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies.
And it sounds like you have more. The population has more exposure over there than they would in the U.S. I mean, most people don't even know that Amazon or Home Depot, which is huge over here, take those, and I think they take them through BitCart.
Wow.
But
well, it's the same over here, really. I mean, if you go out on the street right now, if I said to someone, "Do you want some Bitcoin?" they're going to probably look at me and think I'm talking about Star Trek. But yeah, it's true. But it is a lot of young people and older generations are starting to like hear about it on the news, especially with that massive cyber attack that just sweeps the world recently, where they were demanding Bitcoin. That's brought Bitcoin into the light, into the news as well.
Yeah.
Whether it's bad or good news, it's still bringing exposure to Bitcoin. People are starting to hear about it. Like some of my friends and like family are like, yeah, like, I'm hearing this Bitcoin that you're talking about now. I'm like, oh yeah. Now you're seeing what I'm talking about. No, and people are thinking, okay, this is looking interesting. How much is it? I'm like, well, it's kind of smashed $2,000 in dollars, and they're like, whoa. And then yeah, so it's gaining a lot of momentum, and people are slowly jumping onto it now.
Very cool. Hey, we've got a lot of chatter on the live chat box. Do you have visibility to that too, Luke, or not?
I haven't got it. Actually, no. I can go on there now. Hang on.
We've got people that are looking at us from Turkey. And
wow,
yeah, all over the place. It's been kind of cool. We got somebody, Tessa and Jordan, there on here, and several. So hello, and again, I don't know if we're going to respond to a lot of this. We're going to definitely watch it, but let me pose another thing to you, Luke. You know,
hey, Ron.
Yeah.
We got Johnny Q over there. Gave us a tip. Hey, look at that.
Nice.
Hey,
Very nice.
that's pretty cool.
Top man, nice, top man, good stuff.
Luke, talk about the market cap thing. Now, my question, that fluctuates so much, and we understand that it's really based on the current sell price. So if somebody bought a Bitcoin for 2025, all those coins in circulation will reflect that price. So it could change daily pretty drastically. But do you see this market cap showing any signs of new money coming into Bitcoin? What's your feelings on some of that?
I think, like, do you mean the overall market cap of all of the cryptocurrency?
Yes. Yeah. Is there new money coming into this industry?
Yeah, I think there is, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of corporations that are investing in like Ethereum. Like you got the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, their little secret, their special team. Definitely, there's corporate investment going into that, and technological resources going into Ethereum. I think definitely like more and more people are jumping into Bitcoin and buying Bitcoin. Hence why Coinbase is a huge gateway for a lot of Western countries to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and now Litecoin. So I think, yeah, there's a huge chunk of fresh capital coming in, definitely.
But
And then I think that capital, yeah, come on, carry on.
No, I was just going to make the comment, even though there's almost daily or weekly new people being exposed to this, the number percentage per population is still so small.
Tiny, mate, it's tiny. It's literally like 0.00 something percent. It's tiny.
This thing could literally explode overnight if some of these people wake up.
Even if it got to 2%, it would explode.
I know.
It's unbelievable.
I think who was it that said it? Was it Chandler Gal said that if something like a million people, well, I can't remember the exact quote, but he said if a million people bought one Bitcoin, just one Bitcoin, and I can't remember the exact quote word for word. Maybe someone in the troll box will know. But if a million people bought Bitcoin, just one, it would become something like $1 million. So something like that. It's like that. It's like that. It's just literally like a ticking time bomb, really. But there's no guarantees, of course. There's never any guarantees with things. But yeah, there's huge potential with this. It's crazy. It's amazing. It's really exciting. So yeah.
It is exciting. We live in exciting times.
Look, we hope there's no internet connection going on. We got a little note here that's saying there might be.
Okay, my end seems okay. My internet provider.
There, the note's gone.
Today, they're behaving themselves today.
So let me ask you, Rod and I, because of our age, we play things a lot safer than you young, reckless whippersnappers. But we put money into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we try to study the platforms of some other altcoins that we're into. But what about you? What are you kind of putting your money into, and how do you monitor that and see if one coin is attractive to you, and how do you investigate them?
Okay, basically, like I would say, Bitcoin is like the center point of any coin I would go to. Personally, I would always run back to Bitcoin, and I'd always go to Bitcoin as the main one for the foreseeable future. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. But in terms of what I would look for, what I would recommend is the developers. Check out whether they've got a shady background or not. Definitely, that's an important one. Check out things like the volume, because then if people are actually using it. That's a good indicator. Like Litecoin, that's one of the things I used to always like about Litecoin, or still do, is that its volume was always consistently high, regardless of any pump that was going on. Litecoin was always high in volume. That's one of the things I liked about it, because that to me that showed that people are definitely using it. Yeah. If people are using it, then it's got a function, it's got a purpose. But I would say, volume, their roadmap, what their long-term plan is. I mean, it's all well and good that they're saying they're doing this and doing that, but if they got no long-term plan, then they're probably just going to fizzle out, especially as it becomes more mainstream and more regulations hit, like the exchanges and stuff. They'll fizzle out when the exchanges, when the regulations come. So I would say like a roadmap. I mean, they're what else? I would say definitely what their function is, of course, like what they actually do. Are they actually just a copycat of Bitcoin, or are they actually
something unique?
Doing something? Yeah, something that's actually going to make the world a better place and actually be useful, not just a piece of trash coin where they say they're going to do all this governance and stuff, and then they don't even bother doing it, or it just falls apart and stuff. So things like that, and it happens a lot. So long-term, their long-term sustainability is always important. I mean, how many altcoins have there been last 5 years that popped up, pumped, and now they're just worth they're just worth nothing. They're just a waste of data, waste of algorithms.
So what are a few of the altcoins that you're into?
Litecoin, I like Litecoin. There's a few of them. I like NEM.
Let's get back to Litecoin for a second. That's kind of a copycat of Bitcoin. I just read there's a platform out there called Yours.
Yeah.
anyway, they switched from
yours
Bitcoin to
network, yeah.
to Litecoin because Litecoin can handle such smaller denominations in purchases. One problem with Bitcoin, if you go buy $1 cup of coffee, it might call you $2. You might have $1 fee on there. So Litecoin is really providing something that might be beneficial.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I see Litecoin. I think it's underpriced. I mean, we see a lot of these other coins pumping up. I mean, Litecoin is just more legit, and in the long term, legitimacy will prevail with this kind of stuff. And I think, you know, Litecoin, and with Segwit as well and stuff, that was really awesome seeing Litecoin set the pace for that.
I think
really,
so
and
too.
and it actually helped Bitcoin, because not only did it kind of set an example for Bitcoin, but it's kind of doing now what Bitcoin cannot do right now, like things like the tiny transactions. I moved just like a tiny bit of Bitcoin last night, only like $15-20, nothing major, but because it takes so long, I whacked up the transaction fee to like to the fastest, and the transaction fee was like 10%. So I understand why people are getting so like annoyed with
some coins.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
We would rather wait the week.
yeah, well, that's the thing. See, and I can see why people are getting annoyed, and it's kind of like I understand why there's a lot of frustration. So, but I would say to that is obviously Bitcoin eventually is the scaling thing. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So these things take time. But at the moment, I mean, if Bitcoin's too slow, just swap it into Litecoin and just use Litecoin. You know, it's pretty. You know, Litecoin's got a stable price. It doesn't really do anything too crazy on it. So at least compared to other altcoins.
Yeah.
So yeah, use Litecoin as an alternative.
You find the fluctuation with Bitcoin there, and especially when it's on the upward movement, people hate to get rid of any of that. It's it's kind of a safety net for them.
And plus, this is the thing. See, and when people are doing like transactions with Bitcoin and they're selling Bitcoin to someone else, when the transactions are taking so long and the volatility of the price is up and down, you need the transaction to be faster, much faster. So then at least someone doesn't get screwed over by either, by the prices, by the volatility. So yeah, it is a problem, but I think in time, as the community hashes it out, basically, I think it will resolve with Segwit, and eventually there's like a new agreement now, isn't there? Some Segwit 2 megabyte block size proposal now. So hopefully that will go through, and then everyone will we can move on from it, and then after that, we can start working on, the community can start working on other more impressive things, more things.
It's a growing step at a time process. You're right, and the industry's just on such an upswing that they're working to keep up with all this.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got a few comments on this chat box, which is kind of going crazy, but one was about the Webboard with Cliff High. Have you followed that at all? I mean, this has been.
I was talking about it with my friends today about Webboard. I don't really follow it too much. I've read some of it and watched a few videos. I don't know like all the predictions. I know he's Cliff High. He seems like a really intelligent guy. He seems really intelligent. Yeah. And I've listened. I watched one of his videos about artificial intelligence once and quantum. Was it the Mandela effect and stuff? It was interesting. And quantum computing and stuff.
Yeah. Well, he's been really accurate on his predictions about the Bitcoins and what to look for. And we base a lot of our buying and stuff on what he says. And it's been pretty good.
Well, he's kind of part of the reason we started investigating it, because when we first heard about Bitcoin too, like everybody else, we thought, another fiat deal. There's nothing back it, nothing tangible. Yeah. But the more we kept getting exposed to it, and now this is several months and months ago that we kept listening to Cliff High talk about it, but he just came out with a new report yesterday.
I heard,
My son, we didn't, but my son actually purchased it, and he ran over here this morning just anxious to show us, and I think it's 25 pages, but and we don't know how accurate it is. It's just a forecast based on linguistics. It's kind of a
weird, keywords as well.
There's some emotion behind it and all, but according to him, things look really promising with Bitcoin and especially Ethereum, with all the platforms that are coming on the back of Ethereum. I mean, God, it's wide open. And I just heard too that Samsung and Toyota both are going on Ethereum type blockchains. They're going to devise some kind of deal on there. Wow. Those are huge companies.
Yeah, it is.
They were kind of announced at the consensus a couple days ago.
See, guys, that's the thing. See, like, I remember I did a video about Ethereum and the Internet of Things kind of evolving with like something like Ethereum. And we'll probably see like Ethereum when it comes to the Internet of Things, like how we do banking and apps, and how we're going to have apps within apps and apps within apps within apps within apps and kind of cloud servers. We'll probably see Ethereum launch something like that. And I mean, I don't know, it's no guarantee, but we'll probably see something really cool like that, where you have an application using Ethereum's blockchain or something, and then that app will have loads of other little apps like booking an appointment. I remember reading that, our washing machines, our TVs are already hooked up to the internet. Yeah. All that's going to be hooked up to the internet. It's just like literally just applications on one application, on another application, on another one.
And the more it builds, the more Ethereum's going to be popular.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
No, it's got.
And then you've got
it has to. Yeah.
And then you've got companies like Microsoft and Cisco, which are working with. And Cisco do networking as well, and so that brings in sort of the Internet of Things, the platform for the new Internet 2.0. So yeah, blockchain's really exciting. It's going to be really, next 20 years is going to be really cool. It's going to be really fun.
It's amazing. Anyway, I was going to get off onto a tangent. I was asked this week to come over to a school and teach a class all week on world economy and what's going on, and I kind of brought up blockchain and Bitcoin. Man, it was. Yeah, I just dropped it immediately. They just had no idea or understanding. I said, man, this will take a week to explain this stuff. Hey, we had another comment. They want some comments on Ripple, XRP. So let us kind of start that, because we've done several videos on XRP.
And good video.
And skip the morality of it. We know there's moral issues on both sides of this coin, and we get it.
Same. I always say that as well, so.
Yeah, but as far as the platform and what Ripple's trying to do, and they're the only person, there's Stella, lumens, and maybe another one that are on this side of the fence helping the banks. The platform is pretty sound, and the banks, whether Ripple came along or not, they're going to get on this gravy train somehow.
Oh, yeah.
They want to speed up their process and have the fees cheaper and all that. But Ripple, though, recently, I mean, I think I hit a high of 42 cents, and now it's down to about 27. It's kind of plateaued this last week or so.
Yeah. We had a kind of a group discussion on this, and we felt like, we transferred some Ripple into Ethereum, because we felt like Ethereum is going up, and while
ride the wave, why not? Ride the wave.
And Ripple is more going down more than up. So we didn't completely get rid of Ripple, but we put some into Ethereum because it goes, and also we put some into Bitcoin, both. Yeah. So
anyway, before you comment, Luke, and what's interesting, this industry is growing so fast, and we look back at videos that we've done just 10 days ago that could be outdated as far as what our views and opinions. Now, true, the explanation of the platform sound, but we might have changed our views in the last 10 days. And like Rod said, we're changing gears. So what about you? What about you and your XRP? Do you have any? Have you done any with it?
Yeah, I've played with it and stuff. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I think it's sorry. I think it's what Ripple are doing. It is really innovative what they're doing. It's really impressive what they're actually doing. And there's I think 47 banks in Japan alone were working with them. Want to work with it, and then the Bank of England and many others. So they must see some potential in it for them to be given all that investment. Like SoftBank as well. I think was it 50 billion into Ripple, and SoftBank's huge, so that kind of speaks for itself. Sure. That's the thing. I mean, I see Ripple as kind of like a digital Western Union where you can kind of get different currencies and put them on the network. Yeah, exactly. And then you can put your different currencies on there and use Ripple's network to kind of exchange at instant, almost instantly. That's what they're trying to do. And although I think they're more aimed, their target market is the banks. It's not really us as much. So, you're going to have the banks moving huge amounts of money through their network. A lot of people are saying, are they going to use XRP as the middle currency and stuff? So, there's a lot of rumors and stuff going around, but I think technologically wise, I think it's impressive, it's innovative. And the thing is, the banks are kind of trying to keep up with this kind of decentralized market. The banks are like, damn, we need to keep up.
I agree.
Yeah, and so they
they'll lose out.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I mean, obviously the banks aren't going to shut down tomorrow. I mean, it's going to be it's a much more gradual thing. I mean, if the banks shut down tomorrow, it's going to be total anarchy. If I'm totally honest, Bitcoin just can't handle a worldwide volume.
No.
So who's going to pick up the slack? So the banks literally just vanishing into thin air tomorrow wouldn't be a good thing in terms of, short term. But we may have a situation where with all these engineered kind of financial crashes and all this fractional reserve, all this kind of stuff, and inflation and housing bubble and currency bubbles, you may see where the government and the bank, which is pretty much, in my opinion, the same thing, people may not have any faith in the government. Yeah, people ain't gonna have any.
Me too. We've been feeling that for a long time.
Yeah, and some of our responses to some of the questions have been, do you see Ripple in the long term? And we say, God, there's so many variables to that question. I mean, we could end up in war next week. The banks could be struck, economic collapse. I mean, there's so many current events that could have an impact on this whole industry overnight.
Plus, as well, like, I forgot what I was gonna say now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, the people are just they've already lost their faith in the government and money. I mean, at least over here anyway. So what's gonna happen when this next housing bubble crashes? The faith is at an all-time low of the banks managing money and the government managing money and budget and stuff. So that just gives more incentive for people to run to blockchain. So will Ripple benefit from this or not? I mean, I don't know. If anyone can travel to the future and let us know, that'll be great. But I don't know.
It's kind of the same about NEM. NEM is over there, NEM in Japan, and they're kind of the same type of format as Ripple, but they want their coin more to be used as a currency through the people. But I don't want to get off onto NEM. I'd like to talk about a video for a second that you did this morning on cloud mining with Genesis, and the chat box had a question or two about that. And our thoughts on that. We've looked at Genesis and a couple of the others, but because of what we just talked about current events, we're not sure we want to tie into a year contract and hopefully that it's going to pay off. So what are some of the comments you made on your video today about this stuff, Luke?
Yeah, basically, majority of like these cloud mining sites are just Ponzi scams. They don't actually have any mining equipment, and so they basically just pretend to have these huge mining warehouses full of mining equipment, and it's just a total lie. So you just send them Bitcoin, they send you a little bit back, and then slowly they just kind of phase into the background and they're gone. And I think the only kind of the safe, if you're going to do cloud mining, probably Genesis mining is probably the safest, because I think they actually do have mining equipment, but it's only good if that particular cryptocurrency that you're cloud mining with is bullish, if it's going up. If it crashes and goes down and trickles down into nothing over the next year, then and because mining is constantly getting harder and all the variables to it, it's so they don't explain this to you really. So if your cryptocurrency that you're mining is losing price, then you're not going to get your return on investment. So people have so far been very, very lucky, because most of all the cryptocurrencies have been very bullish. I mean, they've just exploded. So everyone's happy with cloud mining. Everyone's happy as long as they're getting their return on investment and making profit. Yeah. If people weren't making profit, there'd probably be a bit more of a stink about it.
And the freaking investment is so high.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, see, so
it's too high.
And I mean, I've played with it before. That's how I know about it. I just threw a little bit of pocket money into it just to experiment like a year ago. I personally wouldn't do these 12-month contracts and stuff. They have like a lifetime contract. The 12-month contract, like I said, if it crashes, you're not making your money back. So, and even if it goes bullish, the currency has to go parabolic for you to make a profit in that 12 months. And as time goes by, it constantly gets it constantly gets harder and harder and harder and harder. So again, if you're going to do it, then yeah, do it, but aim for a return on investment, because only then will you be able to make profit. Because some people are saying the return on investment, don't worry about it, but you need a return on investment to be able to be in profit. You know, it's simple mathematics. So that's what I was getting at earlier. So I would say only Genesis mining is probably like the safer one if you're going to do it, but I don't really recommend it. You're probably just better off doing some sort of online work or something, or doing some work and asking to be paid in Bitcoin. You know, just hustle.
It'd be better just to invest in something that pays you a little more. To me, I see a better return in that than I do in mining.
And once you lock that coin up for a year in that mining, you're kind of stuck. I mean, you can't move that coin. Let's say something else takes off like crazy. Your options are now limited.
And with the price of like with Ethereum, you could have mined, you know, maybe 6 months ago and made a pretty good profit. But now with Ethereum up so high, your return, like you said, is too much.
That's the thing. So, and the lifetime contract will only last as long as the company is in business and able to afford paying people. So
exactly.
Is it even lifetime? But again, if you got a mining contract, a Genesis mining contract with Ethereum last year, yeah, you're going to be laughing right now. And I'm happy. I want people to make profit. You know, I don't get jealous. I'm happy that people make profit. You know, I congratulate them. It's like high five, great stuff. But, you know, yeah, I mean, invest at your own risk kind of thing. And I mean, people got to do their own research, you know.
You never place money in anything that you're not willing to lose. You know, because it's a gamble. Exactly. You know, it's all a gamble, but it is fun.
Yeah.
All right, Luke, for the big question of the day.
Oh, no.
Tell us about your crypto consulting service that I just recently heard mentioned.
Yeah. I've been deciding, because I've seen people doing it and stuff, and I see a lot of people need help with this kind of stuff. And to help them from not getting scammed, I'm doing like a crypto consultancy thing where they can just literally pick my brain. It's like an hour through Skype or through Facebook video call. So just literally email me yes4motivation@gmail.com, and yeah, definitely, and we'll sort it out. And I'm gonna make some sort of freebies to go with it. Some people got some like PDFs to read as well, just out of good nature. So yeah, I'm putting all that together. But yeah, email me. Yeah, definitely, I'm gonna put that together.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited about you, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, you guys are awesome, man. Your channel has exploded over the last few weeks. It's just
we can't believe it. A couple of old geezers here.
Yeah, man.
We don't know anything, but we sure can BS our way through it.
You guys give some good facts. Like, you give really good facts. You know that your NEM video was awesome, man. Yeah, it's good, and that's what people need. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
One of my favorite go-to information, there's a website called Bitcoin Talk. So if you just put Bitcoin Talk and then the coin you're interested in, you'll pull up all the blog information, all the questions people have asked about it. Some of them are 100 pages long or more. So I like to go to that and see what people have said in the past about it. It's pretty informative to us.
Yeah, since we're just new to it.
But thanks for the compliment. And you're right, we are so surprised at all the subscribers, and we appreciate all that.
We appreciate every dadgum one of
them. Definitely.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. It shows that how many people are now searching for Bitcoin. Yeah. I think Bitcoin is in the top 10 of Google searches, apparently. I don't know if that's correct, but that's what I've heard. And that's amazing. That shows, that's a lot. That's a lot, because Google is the number, is 80% of searches are done through Google, and then 10% are done through YouTube. So that's huge. If that's true, that's bloody huge.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, we still have a lot of comments on Ripple. I don't know why there's so much interest in that. Maybe it's because of the few of the videos we did, but It just is, and people have made some good money. I remember when we got into Ripple at 3 cents a coin.
Yeah.
And then it shot up to 7 cents, and bottlenecks crashed. You couldn't get any movement on Ripple at all.
I remember. I was on my laptop. I was watching, and it just crashed. And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's convenient."
Yeah. You see, but it's just like what you were saying a while ago. If there is a lot of activity on some of the exchanges, they just can't keep up.
Yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it? I don't think they're ready for the level of volume like what these forex apps get. I don't think these cryptocurrency exchanges are actually ready for it yet. They need to get some better servers. They need a good network engineer to tweak it. So
we ought to get our boy over there. He's
good. They're probably working on that, though.
Yeah.
We got to give them credit for that.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, because it's going to be a nightmare, and hopefully there'll be more exchanges come online in the future. Similar to Coinbase and Kraken and stuff.
Legitimate ones, hopefully, yeah.
Here's another Ripple question.
If you had to pick one coin with the most potential right now, other than Bitcoin and Ethereum, Luke, what would you study? Yeah. What would you look at?
Oh man, there's so many.
I know there's over 700 of these altcoins.
Yeah. God, I'm trying to think. NEM looks quite interesting. NEM looks very interesting. I remember when NEM was worth like less than half a penny, and I remember reading about it. It looked pretty cool. They built the code is from scratch. It's not a fork or anything.
Right.
I know there's like they hold all the coins and all that blah 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 blah. But in terms of innovation, yeah, it could be very interesting. I mean, time will tell. I mean, and Ripple, what they're doing. I mean, the amount of volume we're working with the banks, that's huge, right? So credit where credit's due. And if these coins do well, it brings more exposure in a good way to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is obviously where it started, right? Bitcoin's blockchain is the daddy of it all. So but I would say NEM looks pretty cool. Looks quite interesting.
We agree. So, we think they're a pretty solid platform right now too.
Yeah.
Listen, I can't believe we've been on this long already. Any comment on Stella lumens? And to me, that's kind of of course, we've done a video on that, how the head organizer of Stella was on Ripple's.
I remember you. Yeah, I remember when you guys did that video. That was a good video. I actually didn't know that about Stella. I remember, Stella is kind of like a copycat to Ripple. Isn't it I don't know. Isn't it the guy that was to do with Mt. Gox or something?
Yeah.
To do with Stella?
Tie in there too.
Yeah.
The thing with Stellar to me, and we've made a few comments on our videos, that I just don't think they can catch up to Ripple. Ripple is nailing so many of the big banks. They're so far ahead of the game. I don't think Stella will ever get up to where they're at, unless something can happen overnight, obviously. But
well, I mean, Stella are giving away a load of free coins, I think, next month. So yeah, might as well just wait for that and get some free Stella.
Hey, I like anything free.
Well, yeah. So might as well just get some free Stella. I think they base it on how many Bitcoin you've got or something as well. They did like a snapshot of Bitcoin's blockchain or something. I read about it. So I don't know what date in June it is. It might be late May or sometime in June. But yeah, free Stella. So then you get some free Stella. If it goes up, great. If it crashes, it's free Stella, isn't it? Yeah, who cares? Right. Who cares?
Okay, here's a couple of quick things. ICOs. And I want to make a comment about ICOs first. I've read about some of these that they sell out in 10 or 12 minutes, millions of dollars produced for the developers and those in management, but yet they hardly give out a percentage of the coins. So the developers are still keeping 95% of the coins. They've taken in all the millions of dollars. So ICOs are another thing I really think you need to research. I would think all good ICOs are probably on that Bitcoin talk also, giving their platform and so on. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, do your research of these ICOs. I mean, they kind of just splash out tokens everywhere pretty much. Everyone gets a free token with ICOs. They just give it out and give discounts. I would say definitely do your research. I mean, but the thing is with ICOs, they kind of come up with these they all kind of self pump one another, and they mainly people kind of go into an ICO not because of its kind of innovation. Whether or not if it's innovative or not is a whole different ballgame. We'll talk about that another day. But people are literally just in it for the profit. I think that's what people are in these ICOs a lot for. I mean, yeah, some people are in it for the innovative flair to some of these projects, and some of these projects are very good. And well, a lot of them are scams, I think. But yeah, a lot of people are in it for the easy money because they do pump, because there's a lot of hype around them, a lot of media attention around them. My advice is just to do your research and try and weed out the scams to the very few legitimate ones. There is a few legit ones there. It's just finding them. It's getting that gem out of all the.
That's right. Goes back to what you talked about earlier and your course of what to look at in these. Yeah. Now we've seen some of these ICOs too, man, that the coins are selling for quite a bit, but as soon as the ICO stops and they get on the market, there's a crash on the value of those coins.
They just dump it into Bitcoin, as they always do.
Yeah. So, okay, here's a couple other coins they want some comments on: Digibyte and Vertasium. Now, Vertasium, evidently that's one of the coins that was mentioned in this Webbot that both Bixweir and JSnip4 did quick videos on last night, talking about. Matter of fact, I think JSnip4 said he was dropping $2,000 into this Vertasium. If I'm saying it right, their ICO.
Okay.
Anyway, have you heard of them? What do you think?
Yeah, I've heard of Vertasium here and there. I don't know anything about it, so I can't really comment on it. Digibytes looks fun. It's kind of had a good rally. Oh, isn't that like a gaming coin? I like these gaming coins. When I was younger, I used to when I was carefree, I used to always play games. I'm a PlayStation guy, so I love games. I used to want to be a animator and stuff. So I love anything to do with gaming. I love it. It inspires me. But yeah, Digibytes looks quite interesting. I think they were in like a competition. Citibank were launching a competition, and Digibytes is like one of the final coins. It's on their Twitter. Check that out. But yeah, Digibytes looks quite interesting. If they had a good little run. What will happen in the future is anyone's guess, but I don't know much about, was it Vertasium? I don't know much about that.
Yeah, like I said, I know very little what we heard last night and all. Okay, here's a good one. And I'm going to say this name wrong, and you're going to have to forgive me, brother. But it's from Papanea Shelley. He's got his own station too. And we're going to pose his question on the condition. We're totally fascinated on how he does his filming for his videos, because he actually can see himself plus the front of the car. So we want some answers on that. But his... No, I think people ought to go. He's got some good thoughts on some of this stuff. I'd check his station out, his channel. His question was... I think this is it here. How hard to see what is a scam and what it is not. Now, Papa Sean, maybe you just turned into this, but we kind of covered this scam stuff earlier in the video, and we're going to turn this into a thing. But so maybe not to rehearse all that. Luke, do you got anything to add about that, scams and all?
Look at if it's like a cryptocurrency, look at the roadmap and the developers' background, what projects the developers were in beforehand. That's probably the best way. If it's like one of these Ponzi scams, like these revenue share things, just ask them for if they do like this is for like the rev shares, because a lot of these revenue shares that do the investment rev shares that do it in cryptocurrency now, for those things, ask them if they do like a quarterly sales report. Ask them for like their company address, and then you'll probably get your answer from there and how cultish.
That's a good point.
It is.
Yeah, do some research on the actual company. See if they have some legitimate things out there. Okay, Phil asks about a Bitcoin crash coming up, and if we see that in the future. As I see how much these coins are accelerating, like I said, Bitcoin yesterday was $200. It kind of makes me think that there's got to be either a pullback, some kind of correction. Somebody's going to unleash a mass of coins to take their profits, which will drop the price. I'm not worried about it not going back up.
No.
But God, you think sooner or later this price has got to correct sometime. Wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, it's like the saying, what goes up must come down, right? It's like a pendulum, isn't it? It goes up and then comes down. I mean, that's the best way to answer that.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't predict it. Maybe someone like a professional mathematical trader might be able to kind of predict it and all that kind of stuff. But what goes up always does come down. That's kind of how the universe works, right? And that's how Bitcoin works. I mean, Bitcoin goes up as much as Bitcoin goes up, it goes down. That's part of the contract. That's part of the job description with Bitcoin is that we've got to be ready for the big drops, the big sharp drops. That's just part of
Well, when a
Bitcoin
big
at the
shop
moment.
drop, buy.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saving some of my money now.
That's right. Gaming. Let's talk gaming. We mentioned that briefly. We did a couple videos on the coin round. They're in July. They've got their big ICO starting, and they've got a pre thing going on now. And then there's game tokens, or have you heard of that, Luke?
Yeah, but there's so many. This is the thing. It's so hard to keep up. I mean, there's so many. I know about game credits and their
Game
mobile
credits.
go.
That's
That seems they've got a gaming store. Game credits got their own like game store, and I think Mobile Go are launching like a gaming platform on Ethereum and Waves blockchain or something, where you can kind of buy games and do all that kind of stuff using Mobile Go tokens. So I think they've just finished their ICO today or yesterday. So it looks fun. It looks good. Gaming's always fun, right? And if it actually does work, and if it does, take off, gaming's a massive industry. It's like it grows every year. So if it does work, then yeah, it could be very good. Gaming's always popular.
Yeah, relatively 1970 says there's 700 million gamers. Huge industry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now my son does editing for some of these big gaming clans. He edits all their videos, and yeah, the money these kids are making are just insane. It's crazy.
Really?
Crazy, yeah. Yeah, man. It's so much money involved. Yeah.
Redcoin, heard of that?
Is that RDD? I've heard
Yes,
of it. Yeah. I mean,
REDD.
I don't know much about it. I think isn't like a social media platform coin or something.
We haven't heard of it. Have
I
you?
haven't heard of it. Yeah, like you said, there's so many dadgum many of them. We can't keep up.
Yeah.
I think at the moment, I mean, I don't know much about them. I think everyone's just kind of pumping and dumping these really cheap penny altcoins. People just kind of pumping them, dumping them, making more Bitcoin. That seems to be what people are doing. In 10 years, it might be the thing. I don't know, but we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens.
There you go.
Hey,
God
Phil's
knows,
got one
yeah.
more comment on wallets, and this is good.
Yeah.
Maybe we ought to talk just a minute on wallets.
Be a good idea.
Yeah.
Of course, you take like NEM. That's so limited where you can store NEM. You almost have to have their Nano wallet for NEM.
Yeah, they got a Nano wallet. Yeah.
We've gotten into Exodus. I mean, we've probably got a half dozen wallets ourselves because a month ago you need a separate wallet for each coin, but now they're trying to get more and more coins
That's
per
true.
wallet, like Exodus and stuff, which is kind of cool. What do you use, Luke?
Yeah. Ledger. I use Ledger. I got two ledgers. I got the little cheap €40 one for Bitcoin, and then you've got the altcoin one, the Nano S. I don't know what it's called. They all got these fancy names, and I use that for some altcoins, and they're pretty cool. On my actual machine, I don't keep much on my machine. Like for NEM, there's the Nano Light wallet or whatever.
Lightweight, yep.
Electrum, I've used Electrum in the past for Bitcoin and Litecoin before I had a ledger. What else is there? There's Jax. I didn't really like them too much. There was a few bugs would pop off on there, and I didn't really like it, so I don't really use that as much now. Coin-A-Me is I've played with that before. That seems okay. That's got like a whole list of altcoins. When I've used it, it hasn't jammed on me or anything like that. It seems all right. Unless someone in the comment section might know better. But but I would say cold storage is the way forward. Definitely,
Sure,
is the way forward.
And we have Nano S also. What about paper wallets? Have you done anything with that? That wallet generator?
Isn't it like sites where you can generate like a paper wallet and then you can print it out? I'm gonna try and do a video on it at some point. But I mean, I would say with paper wallets, they're very safe. Yeah, definitely, as long as no one steals it.
Well, we did. That's right. Or water damage, flood.
Yeah.
We did it.
Like get laminated.
Laminated. Good point. Yeah, we did a video on it, and I guess the key is you download the software, and then you take your computer off the internet, and then create your wallet once you're out, so nobody can see anything. So it's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
Pretty safe.
Yeah.
Luke, we've probably kept you longer than you wanted to come on. Man, we are
no problem.
appreciative of you coming.
Really do.
Oh,
You're a
thank you
good
for
man.
having me. No, it's been good.
Yeah,
It's been good fun.
we talked to Luke before we got on the air just to make sure everything was doing, and he's quite a guy.
Yeah.
He's quite a guy, let me tell you.
Cheers.
He is
Thanks.
one good guy, even though he's across the big pond.
Well, we're hoping we can... Luke, we're hoping we can do this again.
Definitely, yeah. It's been good fun. It's great. And
So what are you doing
a great
tomorrow?
job.
We could go on with this interview, but we'd have to call out for pizza.
Yeah.
Especially Rod and I.
Yeah.
Get some Cokes in here and stuff.
There you go.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, it's been good fun. We have to do it again. We have to do like it on a regular basis. It's good
Yeah,
fun.
let's do something like that. That'd be fun.
Well, thanks so much. And hey, thanks everybody for your chats. We've had a good turnout.
That was great. Sorry we couldn't get to all the questions, but there's so many of them.
Well, and it's new to us. We're trying to juggle 3 screens here, and we're still don't know if we're online or not.
How many are live? I can't even see it. How many are actually?
The highest I've seen it, I think, is 65 to 70. And really, I think
that's
that's
decent.
well, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon here.
and they
Everybody's
keep
working.
coming, and it keeps popping up. So it may,
Nice.
time we get through, it may be 150.
Yeah, so
Wow. Yeah, that's really good. That's good. Yeah,
we're
that's
happy
really
with
good.
it. So thanks everybody for your chat and all, and
We
we'll
appreciate it.
we'll keep
very
announcing when we do these things, so you'll have a heads up on it
Yeah,
beforehand.
this has been so exciting.
Now wait a minute, we
I
could do
know.
this like at 5 when everybody's off work.
Yeah.
Or maybe even 6, and that'll make it about 1 in the morning for Luke.
Yeah.
But he's young,
What?
he can do it.
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah, why not?
You're probably playing games by then anyway.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and
Appreciate
we're gonna turn this on to a tape too and put it out there.
You betcha.
Luke, hang on a second, will you? Let me
Yeah,
see if
mate,
I can
will do.
figure out how to shut this damn thing down.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and go on the comment section. I'm gonna try and find it and then go on the comment section.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be
see what
great.
people are saying. I'll try anyway. I'm not promising.
And I'm not promising. Oh,
We'll
here it
turn
is. Way
this
over
on.
here. Way over here. Way over here. Okay, you gotta do this. Now you know why we need an IT guy.
Yeah. He's doing a good job. He's doing a
Yes,
good job.
he's doing a great job.